Warsaw Central Station, in the heart of the Polish capital, Warsaw. We arrived here with a train from Vilnius in Lithuania, and after spending some days here, we continue our way by train to Budapest. During this ride, we won't only have breakfast on board of the train, but also dinner. Apart from Poland and Hungary, where this train starts and terminates, this train also passes through the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Join me on this EuroCity train between Warsaw in Poland, via the Czech Republic and Slovakia, also called in Bratislava, so another capital, to Budapest, the capital of Hungary. For now, let's get this video on the track and let's roll the intro. We arrived in Warsaw by train from Vilnius in Lithuania. We spent some days here, and you can't really say that Warsaw is a walkable city. It's a rather big city, however you find good public transport to pretty much anywhere. The old town is not that big and our hotel was next to the train station, so lots of buses and trams and also the metro was easy within reach for us. From the rooftop of the Palace of Culture and Science you have a great view on the city. This is located right next to the railway station. And as you can see, the railway station has been built underground. There's a whole labyrinth of tunnels and railway lines underground here. I'll show you all in this video. If I looked at the numbers for busiest railway stations in all of Poland, Warsaw is not the number one. However, the railway station Warsaw Central and the other railway station that's right next to it, Warszawa Centralna, or if I translate it, Warsaw City Center, combined, these two railway stations are the busiest in all of Poland, if you count them as one. Where the city center railway station, the one with the name that I'm not going to try to pronounce in Polish, hosts only regional trains and only has 2 tracks. The railway station Warsaw Central hosts mainly long distance and also international trains. You find more bigger terminal railway stations around here, but Warsaw Central Station is the most important one. Most trains that do terminate or start in Warsaw do not terminate or start here. It's a short walk if you go from one station to the other one underground. This is really smooth. The metro station that's around here is called Centrum, so basically center or city center. By having most shops not in the old town, the area around the railway station is what I think the most center-like area of Warsaw. This includes a big shopping mall that's seamlessly integrated within the central railway station. Well, for now let's focus on where this video is all about, Warsaw Central Railway Station. Once again, this is the station for most long-distance trains. You might find some lost commuter trains as well. And right next to this you find another station with the name I can't pronounce, what is only for their commuter trains. Literally everywhere around the railway station you will find bus and tram stops for, well, connecting city public transportation. Vending machines for the buses and trams and also trains can be found at several spots around the railway station. There are so many big streets around here. It almost feels like you're surrounded by the highway. Well, obviously that's not true. These are not true highways though. And if you're here in the rush hour by car, well, you can expect traffic jams as well. At the side of the railway station, there's obviously also a taxi stand, as you can see over here. And at several spots around the railway station, there are areas where you can pick up and drop off railway passengers by car. By the way, if you're gonna use a taxi and use an app, my personal favorite app to book taxis, not only in this part of Europe, but also in the western part of Europe, is Bolt, B-O-L-T. At several spots around the station, you can find also entrances to go down to the underground area of the station. The underground area even includes a big parking garage, but I think actually belongs to the shopping mall right next to the station. For now, let's head into the main railway station building. Let's go to the main concourse at ground level. Directions have been marked pretty good within this station. Everything is obviously in Polish, but also in English as a second language. For quite some long distance trains, announcements are being made both in English and Polish as well. Warsaw Central railway station has been completed in 1975. I wouldn't say that this is the prettiest railway station I ever seen, it's more a functional station actually. This railway station is newer than the railway station for the commuter trains that's right next to here. Little surprise, a little bit later on in the video, there's a third railway station connected to here. At the upper level there are some more shops. You have a good view on the main concourse over here. There's some waiting areas and you also find a supermarket over here. Information about departing trains has been given at several smaller screens throughout the station. And apart from that, you find big screens at the main concourse that will host also information about both departing and arriving trains. This information is also very good in English. For now, let's go down to the ground floor again. Most railway and also regional public transportation related services can be found here, like an information point for the city public transportation and quite some ticket counters. I purchased my ticket online though, I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the video. Apart from all these counters, at the other side of the main concourse I noticed the PKP Intercity Passenger Service Center. I think this is truly for long distance trains. PKP Intercity is also the railway company that's responsible for our train today, at least for the part in Poland. I'll tell a little bit more about that later on in the video as well. For now, let's go down towards the tracks, but not yet. At the moment I will go one level down. You will find some more shops, not really a lot of railway related services, and from this level you find direct access to the railway platforms. Just like everywhere, directions have been marked crystal clear. And when I made my way over here, I noticed a sign saying WKD station. I wonder what is that? There's really a whole labyrinth of tunnels around here. And at the moment I went up at the point where I was just filming, I ended up here on the other side of one of the big streets. But I'm just really curious what WKD station means now. So I was making my way to there. Around several spots in this station you'll find maps, by the way. And now I'm apparently still at Central Station, but I'm near another point where you find access to the platforms. And here we are at the WKD station. This train almost looks derailed. But it's not, as you can see if the train is moving away. But yeah, this is a bit strange how the train was there, right? Or is it just me? Anyway, the WKD station is apparently another railway station that's integrated for suburban commuter line. This is a big station, you find so much around here, and what is a bit confusing is that the smaller stations around here are not just called Warszawa Centralna or Warsaw Central Station. But in general, if you just follow the signs around here, you should be fine. It's time to head back to the area where I found access to the platforms for the train. And also in this area of the underground section, you find so many shops. It's really a huge labyrinth around here. And well, once again, I think it would make sense if they would all call this Warszawa Centralna. You will find lots of maps of the station around here as well, and directions have been given crystal clear. Close to the entrance of the tracks, you find at several spots vending machines for tickets as well. And lockers to drop your luggage can be found at several spots around the area where you find access to the platforms as well. From and to Warsaw Central Station you'll find trains to all over Poland. High-speed trains, slower trains, and obviously you also have lots of international trains to Germany, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Austria, Lithuania and also to Ukraine. From and to the platform I didn't notice elevators, but you will find escalators, and at some spots at the platforms you find these, well, kind of ramps that are also an escalator. I hope you like this video so far. If you do so, or if it's a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up. Questions, feedback, comments, let me know in the comment section. And if you'd like to see more trip reports or more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and international traveling. For example, videos on this train here, the EuroCity Metropolitan, or this one here, the one you're watching right now. If you got the name, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. For now, let's continue with this video. At the platform you will find screens that will host the train composition, so you know where more or less you need to stand at the platform. Today we were traveling on board of a EuroCity where there were 2 destinations. The train will be split during the way. One part will go to Budapest, that's the part we'll be taking, and the other part is going to Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic. Our train was being pulled in by a Czech locomotive. After that there was some Hungarian carriages that will take us obviously to Hungary, including one Polish carriage that was also taking us to Hungary. After that there were some Czech carriages that were heading to Prague in the Czech Republic. By the way, at the railway station of Warsaw Central, platforms and tracks have been mentioned separately. One platform hosts more tracks in this situation. If you're traveling with Interrail or any kind of ticket, for the part in Poland for the train we have, a seat reservation is obligated. If you're traveling on board of these trains and you stay within the Czech Republic, Slovakia or Hungary, it's recommended to make a reservation, especially for a longer journey, but it's not obligated. At the side you'll find displays at these carriages, and these displays will host the carriage number, the final destination. Also at the entrance doors you will find some information about the carriage number, the route, etc. By the way, here at the opposite platform a sleeper train is coming in. I think this train also has some carriages that came from Budapest. There's one first class carriage on board of this train, and we were actually traveling on board of the first class carriage. Above the windows in the first class carriage there's an extra yellow stripe that will mention the first class, and also the dining car has been marked crystal clear. For the rest you only find second class carriages. For the part of the train that terminates in Prague, the Czech Republic, you will only find second class. Our train makes some more stops within Warsaw. Actually, the composition of the train today is slightly different from the normal composition. At the front there was another second-class Hungarian carriage, and there was a Polish carriage, where actually the Hungarian carriage should have been. I guess there were some issues with that specific carriage, and because probably it was fully booked, they just added a Polish carriage for that carriage instead. The composition at the bottom of the screen is not for the entire route. This is only for the section within Poland. For now, let's do a train review, and I will start off at the front of the train, where we were also sitting in the first class, and this is the toilet in the first class. Nothing really special, everything worked as most important, and it was clean. You can even control the extra lights over here. You can also use this as a diaper change facility if you're traveling with a little baby, although it's not super spacious, I have to say. Located at the vestibules, you'll find some general information and also line maps for the Hungarian railroad system. Apart from that, you will also find line maps for international trains. At all doors, you will find a small display that will host the carriage number and also the train number, route information, you name it. Now let's head on to the first class. This comes in an open compartment, and this is in a 2x1 configuration. All seats do face each other. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that. I like to see some more airline style seats, but if you're traveling with 2 people, I think it's totally fine. Because of this layout, between the back ends of the seat you can store quite a lot of luggage, and this doesn't only count for this train but for trains in general. I keep on saying this in every video. In the tables that are opposite from each other you find power sockets, and there are quite a lot. For all tables you find the same amount, no matter if you have 4 seats opposite from each other or 2 seats. Integrated within these tables there's a small litter bin, and you can fold these tables out to make it slightly bigger, ideal to work on a laptop for example. These seats can be reclined with a handle right under the seats. It's not a wow first class product, but it's definitely not bad. My girlfriend was very satisfied about this train, I have to say. At the side you'll find the seat numbers, and there's a digital display that should indicate from where to where a seat has been reserved, although it didn't work in our situation. There are some other seats in first class that don't have a table in between. You won't find sunscreens, but there are curtains instead, and all seats do have a reading light. Obviously, you will also find overhead luggage racks. I mean, it's still a long distance train after all. When I made this journey early January, the weather wasn't that great. I bet the views from the train would be much more interesting if the weather is nice. It doesn't take long after leaving Warsaw before our train hits the top speed of 160 km per hour. We left Warsaw in the morning and we were sitting in first class. Between the first class and the rest of the train you will find the dining car, maybe my favorite part of the train. The dining car has really quite a lot of spots where you can take a seat, and the kitchen area is also rather big. I really like the food selection over here. Normally you should be able to make payments by, contactless payment cards or payment cards in general. However, that didn't work for our trip. It was cash only. This seemed to be a bit of a challenge, but we managed eventually. This was our breakfast we had in the train. I just really like this. This makes the whole train experience just so much better. This train is passing through 4 countries, and 4 countries with also 4 different currencies. We didn't have that much cash with us, and this also gave us some challenges in terms of finding extra cash. I'll get back to the dining car later on during the trip, because we also had dinner on board of this train. After leaving Warsaw, our train is heading to Katowice, another big city within Poland. I feel like on this section of the route, the train makes some stops at some smaller stations, and the railway line is also in a rather straight line. I think this is a rather new railway line for that same reason. The speed is also relatively high. Now let's move on to the standard class, or second class, that's how you want to mention it. Within the carriage, right after the dining car, there are quite some spots to put bikes. As far as I know, a reservation for a bike is obligated. There are even quite some power sockets over here. Next to the bike area, what can also function as an area for people traveling in a wheelchair, I think, you'll find the bigger accessible toilet. This toilet can also be used as a nursery space for if you're traveling with a little baby, just like the previous toilet I showed you. This carriage also has some family areas. I'll show you in a bit. This is the nursery space, and this toilet is pretty spacious and has some support bars, for obvious reasons. Most importantly, this toilet was also cleaned during the ride. At the vestibules you find several litter bins you can use to recycle waste. These trains don't have barrier-free access, so if you're traveling in a wheelchair, for example, you need to ask for assistance. This is the open carriage right next to the accessible toilet area. There are some kind of compartments over here, and that's basically the family area. It's an interesting mixture, to be honest, because it's not a fully closed area, but you do have some kind of compartments. Now let me do a seat review of the airline style seats over here. There are lots of power sockets over here as well, to be honest. It's really impressive. And also USB outlets. A small litter bin is located near the seats as well. Even for the accessible area, there are special power outlets. Because our train is being pulled by a locomotive and there's no cab car, you have these great views from the back of the train. We'll get there in a bit, but for now let's move on to the other second class or standard class carriage. And this one was different in our composition compared to the normal composition you can expect. Normally there should be a carriage with compartments only, and that's an Hungarian carriage, but this was a Polish carriage. And this was an open compartment. I like that much more. These seats are actually really comfortable and the leg room is really generous. Later on I had some glimpse of the carriages that should be originally at this part of the train. I'll show you that as well. As we make our way to Katowice in the south of Poland, not too far away from the border with the Czech Republic, there are some construction works every now and then right next to the railroad tracks. I think there will be some great improvements when it comes to that over here. And at the moment we're getting closer to Katowice, you notice immediately that you're getting in a bigger city area. Also at the railway station of Katowice there were some construction works going on. After some passengers left the train and some others boarded the train, we continue our way to the border with the Czech Republic. Also at this section of the route there are lots of construction works going on, and I think the railway line will be improved a lot in the not too far away future. And even though at some parts we went a bit slow because of this construction works, it didn't impact the timetable, at least there was no delay. Maybe the timetable has been already adjusted a little bit. Well, these are the Czech carriages that are at the last section of the train. I will not review them, but these do come in compartments. And they're slightly different per carriage, but well, in the great picture these compartments are the same. At the railway station of Ostrava in the Czech Republic, not long after we crossed the border, different carriages will be combined. Basically the train carriages that were going to Prague were taken apart from our train, and we were having two new carriages that came from Przemysl, if I pronounce it right, what is at the Polish-Ukrainian border. That train also took 3 Czech carriages, and they will be combined with the Czech carriages we had and will go to Prague. Well, over here I tried to find an ATM. If I'm in Prague, you find lots of these ATMs where you pay way too much to take money from, but you can at least take euros as well. So I was looking around over here if I could find an ATM like that, but I couldn't find them. Better luck next time, because there will be a longer stop during this ride as well. As I mentioned before, at the railway station of Ostrava, our train was combined with 2 carriages that came from Przemysl, if I pronounce it right, what is at the Polish-Ukrainian border. There's one open carriage that was rather busy actually, and then this carriage here with compartment. The Polish carriage I showed you earlier on should be actually one of these carriages you see over here. Actually, this looks pretty fine to me, although personally I really prefer the open carriages, so one big open compartment in the carriage, and not these carriages with these smaller 6 people compartments. Actually, some of the areas in the Czech Republic are a bit more scenic as well. This train will actually just move between some mountain areas, so therefore it gets a bit more hilly at some sections of the route. I only filmed the views from the train, at least with proper daylight, until the Czech-Slovak border. The last station within the Czech Republic is Bratislava. After that we're moving on to Slovakia. Bratislava is located at the border with both Slovakia and also close to the border with Austria. This train here was heading to Vienna and Graz, for example, and came from Prague. This is a Czech railjet. I'd love to make a video on those trains one day. I covered some Austrian railjets, but not the Czech ones yet. Here the train is crossing the border between the Czech Republic and Slovakia. And the first stop in Slovakia, and yes, especially for my Dutch viewers, pay attention to this name, is Katowice. Well, from here on it definitely got too dark to make some more videos from the view from the train. So I won't do that. After not too long, the train arrived at the railway station of Bratislava, at the main railway station. I featured this in another video, by the way, you can check it out in the description of this video. However, most importantly on this, Slovakia is having the euro as currency. And I don't want to take money for countries that I won't visit in any near future anyway. So I jumped out, went to an ATM in the station hall and took some money. So we could at least buy dinner on board of the train in the dining car. I was getting a kind of hungry by now. The prices are very reasonable and the menu selection is rather big. Although, unfortunately, not everything what was on the menu was available anymore. I mean, this is a Hungarian dining car that is making its way from Budapest to Warsaw and then will also move back. So yeah, obviously if you're traveling from Poland to Hungary, there might be a chance that there's just less food available. So this time I didn't went for the vegetarian or vegan options, but I chose one of the meat options. Well, at least I could have dinner on board of the train. I was getting worried that we couldn't do this either, but we managed to get some cash for this. And also we managed to get euros, what's way more convenient because we can also use it back at home. The route in Hungary is actually really scenic as well, next to the Donau River, but because it was night I couldn't film much of that. But I captured this on an earlier video, you can find it in the description of this video, on the route from Budapest to Prague, on the EuroCity Metropolitan. As I mentioned earlier on, I'll tell you something short about ticket fares. This train is going through 2 countries and is starting and ending in another country. So basically you can book tickets via 4 different systems. Via the Polish state-owned railway company PKP Intercity and via the Hungarian state-owned railway company MÁV. You can buy tickets from the beginning to the final destination. It's really worth to compare these prices because for us there was a big difference between these 2 prices. You can also buy tickets via the ZSSK, what is the state-owned railway company of Slovakia, or CD, the state-owned railway company of the Czech Republic. However, you can only buy tickets from and to those countries, and even though this train is passing by these countries, you need to split your ticket if you book via those websites. But still, if you play around a bit with this, you can save yourself some money. Because the ticket we purchased in Poland comes including a seat reservation, we were first having some seats assigned to us that were not the seats opposite from each other in first class. It's just assigning seats in a specific order. Maybe this is different if you book this via the Hungarian state-owned railway company, but because I work in this business I just reserved seats without any tickets until the seat that I wanted will be assigned to me automatically. I can cheat with this, but not everybody can do this, so yeah, that's something that can be improved, selecting a seat on the map on the different websites of the different railway companies. We had one ticket where we paid €39 for first class from Warsaw to Budapest, and the second ticket was a bit pricier though, there we paid €65. These are the prices based on demand and these are the prices for non-refundable tickets. The websites to book your tickets will be mentioned here as well.
Welcome to Budapest Hungary railway station. I pronounced this probably wrong anyway. I hope you liked this video or this has been a helpful video to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see this railway station, just check out the video in the description of this video from Budapest to Prague on the EuroCity Metropolitan. There I've highlighted this railway station a bit more. Although that was during a construction, I think there are things differently now. Anyway, once again, I hope you liked this video or this has been helpful to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling. Well, this is definitely both. Then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. Before we really end up this video, one last thing.
Once again, thank you for watching. You can also find me on the socials, Instagram and Blue Sky. Apart from that, in the description of this video you find a link to a map where you can find all videos as well, but then on a map. And obviously you can also find them on this channel. And there will be a lot of new lines added on this map soon as well. See you on the next video.